The Guild Wars 2 new expansion just got announced, and we have raids, player housing, Warclaws, and much more. But a lot of it's hidden in random ass articles. So in this video, we're gonna go through all of them and see all the information we actually have. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support me, and let's get into it. So first, see the trailer. It was actually a pretty cool trailer. I actually didn't hate it. I think some people did like it, but it was pretty cool. It's kind of epic. I liked it. Let's just watch it. We'll go through all of it. If you want to see it, you know, actually the whole thing without stopping, just go to my other video when I actually see it, or just check it by yourself. But let's go each point against dissect it as much as we can. First of all, the music is pretty okay, pretty interesting.
It may be dangerous.
Little Witcher-like.
Place. It's stunning.
Yes, it does look pretty nice.
Think there are any white mantle left in the area? I've heard.
White mantle. So I'm guessing this is gonna be at the start of the expansion. We might actually not know that white mantle is like, because like we know that, you know, white mantle used to be here, but I doubt we're gonna actually delve into that. Like, there's gonna be actual white mantle here. I think it's gonna be like, oh, this is where they used to be. Let's see what information we can have out of this. Well,
Enough rumors.
now that is some amethyst kind of structure. You can see the wizard's tower actually, kind of like symbols right here. I wonder what that means. Does that mean that the wizard's tower is gonna come down here as I predicted, or does that mean that we're actually gonna have, you know, some hub for the wizards in Janther? We actually don't know, but it's very interesting.
A storm looms over that place. That is not a territory I wish to cross.
Very cool.
My bear kin have lived in
The Coven.
Janther longer than your cities have stood tall.
Cool. It reminds me a lot of Northern from WoW, to be honest. The spear, and you can see that is probably gonna be Rev. You know, that is a very close attack, like you know, you have on I mean Greatsword 5, but you're loose. You know, you're sending the little spears down. That sounds like Soul Beast. It looks like Soul Beast, or like, you know, Ranger. This probably Warrior, maybe. The enemies are kind of cool, pretty new. That is definitely Ellie. And for the people who want a Ranger, a ranged Ellie, you can see there. Actually, that must be Ranger. Okay, that animation is a bit weird. Okay, like, wait, what happened there? I'm just going back here. Whoa, look. Oh, it's not that bad. It looked a bit weird. It was kind of funny. And then look at that, ranged Ellie weapon. I'm pretty sure about this one. I don't know what that is. It could be anything, to be honest.
God.
And of course, the big enemies. Pretty cool, you know, pretty cool logo there. I think, you know, the arrowhead of of the spear, of course. Some people have been making some you know, other comparisons, guys, but this is a PG-13 channel. We're not doing this here, guys. But you know, if you know, you know. Let's keep going. And now we're gonna see, of course, the beautiful housing.
Home to me, but perhaps it can be for you.
Very cool. Now you can see that they are decorating here. Now the question is, they did talk about in the actual post. They talked about masteries. You know, masteries upgrading this home instance. Now the question is, will this actually be something we can move around? Are we gonna be able to move these chairs, or is this gonna be like, oh, just you upgrade them and the house becomes better and you cannot even move them? I really hope that it's actually something that we can customize completely. And we're actually gonna go, now that we're here. No, actually, let's just go through the whole post, and we're gonna start talking about all the things that the post says, and all the things that we caught in all of this little, you know, tabs that I have here from information that we got from other places and some quote-unquote leaks. A new adventure beckons. On the launch of Guild Wars 2 Janther Wilds, we'll explore 2 new maps as you seek an alliance with the Lowland Coden. And I'm guessing we're gonna have some information about the Sorrow Coden from the Wizard's Tower that we got some, you know, some books about. Really interesting that, you know, connecting the Wizard's Tower with this expansion. We call the Isle of Janther home. Master new ways to fight and explore and unlock a homestead. homestead, my bad, an account-wide personal housing instance of your own. Over the course of 3 quarterly releases that follow the initial launch, you'll have the opportunity to challenge new content, explore additional story in the 3rd and new map, craft a legendary spear and backpack, and obtain new Wizard's Vault rewards, cosmetic, relic effects, and more. So we know that we're gonna get legendary spear. Pretty cool for the, well, that makes sense. I mean, if they wouldn't have done that, it would be kind of weird. New backpack, which is very interesting. I don't know why they want for the backpack, but I mean, I guess they thought like, hey, only one legendary is too little. Let's give them both. Yeah, I'm not really sure why. I guess they just wanted an open world backpack. Do we I guess we don't really have that, do we? We only have the amulets for open world. We don't really have a backpack. I guess it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you know what? It does make sense. I just didn't think about it. New versus Vault rewards, as always, of course. And I think actually in the other one they talk about having 2 armor sets. Yeah, in the shop version of this post, they talk about having 2 armor sets and 2 weapon sets. I think. Yeah, no, it's 2 armor sets and 2 weapon sets for the Wizard's Vault reward. So on release. So that's pretty big. Pretty big Wizard's Vault instantly, right? Pretty interesting. Cosmetic items, relic effects. So we're still gonna get more relics, which is very important to make the the play. The game actually feel alive and new builds happening all the time. I hope that these relics are way more interesting than the ones that we got in Soto. We have some good on Soto, but not the best ones. So I really hope we can engage some new build crafting with that. Then homesteads, of course, one of the biggest, most important parts of this expansion. Player housing is very important in MMOs, and not that many do it correctly. So I really hope they do it well. And we're gonna talk about what this implies. We're excited to talk to add our take on account-wide housing with Guild Wars 2 Jam Through Wilds. Your journeys will lead you to the own homestead, an account-wide personal instance with a structure and land for you to decorate and cultivate. So cultivate, that means that they show this picture, and it does have like certain even like things that you would craft, you would cultivate stuff in, right? Like maybe plants or whatever. Does this mean that we're actually gonna be able to put our farm here, and just customize it however we want? It might be. I guess we're gonna have to check in, but I'm guessing that's one of the things that we're gonna get. The homestead feature is unlocked and developed through an associated mastery line as a place to express yourself. Share space with your friends and access notes and unlockable resources from your personal story home instance. Before we launch on August 20th, we'll be back with share modes, loads more of information, and a look at a homestead decorating. So we're gonna definitely get all the information, and we're definitely gonna be here covering all of it. I do think it's kind of good in some ways that they don't share everything, because there's a big amount of time before the expansion. So getting one, a big blog post about every one of the features, going through all of them very, very hard every week will continue the hype from here until the expansion, which I think is good. Now, there is more information about the homesteads in other websites. I'm just going to go here. Very important stuff. We have a lot of stuff here. You might get spoiled a little bit here, but it's okay. There we go. Like we said this morning post, this is Ruby, one of the developers, talking about a few of the things that they want to, clarify on the expansion. Your current home instances are not going away with the homesteads arrive on August 20th. Even though you can actually put some homes instances things on the homesteads, the homes instances will not go away. They'll continue the same. I was actually expecting the home instances to get updated. To become like mini homesteads, but maybe that will happen next expansion, or maybe they'll never do it. Home instances are kind of weird. I kind of don't want them to stay the same way that they are. I don't think it's really, maybe it's just me not enjoying home instances in the first place, but I don't think there's any reason not to update them to this level. I think probably they don't want to update it to this level, because otherwise, if you don't have the expansion, you can still get all of about homesteads without buying it. I'm guessing they're gonna do that next expansion, so you actually have to buy the expansion, which honestly makes sense, I think. Homesteads will have a separate crafting profession from guild scribing. Now, I've seen a bit of the discussion on Reddit here about this. Some people really don't like it and not liking this, and honestly, I don't like it either. I think guild scribing is already something that a profession that is kind of unupdated. It's not very well done. It needs a rework, and it would have been a perfect time to rework it, not only for it to work perfectly with guilds, but also with home stats, right? And now we're gonna have something else. Would that mean that we're gonna literally get a new crafting profession completely, or does it mean that any crafting profession is gonna be able to craft whatever decorations we actually get through here? I really don't know. I wish they would just merge scribing with whatever this is, and I guess they didn't want people that did scribing to be essentially max level and they don't have to do anything. And the other way around, they didn't want to restart it, so all the people that had scribing, you just have to re-level it. I don't know. Maybe they will do some other guild stuff later on, and this is why they're doing this. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell, but unless we have more information, it's kind of, you know, right now, I don't really like it. Maybe they'll change my mind later. They also talk about this one thing, which is very interesting, but I think we're gonna, you know, we're gonna not talk about that one right now. We're gonna talk about that later. There you go. Let's just keep going through the stuff. Wielding spears on land. Previously only available for underwater combat, spears will now have all new skills for each profession on land. Spears can be used interchangeably in the aquatic and terrestrial weapon slots, but you will need to equip multiple spears to use them in both slots. That makes sense. The unlocked spear skins in your wardrobe will work with both versions, and if you had made Kamohali Kotaki, the legendary spear, you can equip it through the legendary armor in either slot. So if you want an aquatic spear and you want the, the land spear at the same time, you're gonna have to not only get the current legendary spear, you're also gonna have to get, guess what, the the new one, right? Not only the old one, but also the new one that is coming out on the release. I do hope they tell us when that one comes out. We'll see. But I hope that on release. And I'm actually thinking like, oh, maybe I just don't even do the Kamohali Kotaki. I just do the other one. I'll see. I guess we'll check, and I'll definitely be keeping track on this. And definitely, guys, do not buy the precursor on the trading post. Craft it. It's 20 gold versus 300. Do not do that, guys. Also we have some information about the spear. We're actually gonna see the spear in June 27th. We're gonna have a beta, so we can actually test all of the classes with them, which I think is very, very, very cool. So yeah, I think this is gonna be very interesting to see. We're gonna actually, and no pre-purchase necessary to enter. It's gonna be a little bit of beta, you know, making you convincing you essentially for you to get the actual weapon. I do also think that this expansion will, you know, the spear will release on release. Will release on the release of the expansion, not later on like we did on Soto. I'm really thinking that this is the real. I hate saying this, but this expansion is gonna be what we actually are gonna get from now on. Soto, I think it was a bit of a hard one for them. I think they didn't do exactly what they wanted, and I think the fact that almost everything seems to be releasing on the actual release of the expansion right here means that they're not really, you know, this is what they want. This is what they want every expansion to be more or less like. Yeah. Now, is there anything more for this? I don't think so. There we go. What's next? I'm missing the thing. I have so many tabs, guys. Next one, raids and encounters. Yes, a new raid is coming. Additional challenging encounters will now become available alongside new story chapters in the 3 major releases to the following Guild Wars 2 Frontier Wilds. In the first of these releases, anticipated to release around November 2024. So it's not gonna go on release. It's gonna happen in November. So the first patch. You will challenge a new raid comprising of 3 encounters. The story of these encounters will be accessible in 2 ways: through a classic 10-player raid instance, or 8th raid, or with a large group in open world events. Now here's a very interesting point here though. We are getting, you know, also, wait, one second, very important. In here you can actually see that they talk about how we're gonna get a challenge mode and a legendary challenge mode as well from the raid on release of it, which is very, very cool. So we can essentially expect right now that from now on, legend raids or any endgame content will have normal mode, CM and legendary CM. Now this is very good because this will make it so everyone has a different way to experience the content the way they want to. And of course we have the easy mode in the large in open world events. I do think they have to be very careful and not commit the same mistake they did with Ceres. Ceres CM should not be as hard as it is. There's no reason. Legendary CM can be very, very difficult, that's fine, but the normal CM should be something way more chill. Like there's no reason to make it like it appeals for the same type of people that would do legendary CM. It should be maximum Kaineng CM level, and also it should probably be Anka CM level instead. Well, hopefully they learned a lesson, and I'm probably gonna make a video about that one, just specifically just to talk about it. But we'll see. The other thing that is very interesting about this is that, you know, we're gonna have an open world event. Now, is this gonna be a meta? Is this gonna be a chain of events? We don't really know. And also, are we gonna get the open world event of the raid before the raid comes out? Is it gonna be on release? I don't know. Are we gonna have a meta in the first map, and then, you know, 2 months after we're actually gonna get another one in the same map. Who knows? It's actually very interesting to see how they're gonna pull this off. But it has a lot of potential, and it could eventually mean that we're gonna get way more metas and way more instance content at the same time, which I think is very, very cool. I think that's about it for. We have more information. Warclaw, the Enchanted Wilds, the Warclaw mount will be featured with the new mechanics. Previously only available through Warclaws World, Warclaw will be introduced to players in the story of Guild Wars 2 Enchanted Wilds, including new skills for PvE play. Now this is very interesting because I think a lot of people get very annoyed at the fact that they have to get Warclaw in Warclaws World. Because they're just running around very slowly and they can't really meet with their friends or with the commander because they don't have the Warclaw. So in this way, they have a way to actually acquire the Warclaw through PvE and then just instantly get into Warclaws World and not being slowed down, which I think is a very good way of getting people into Warclaws World. At the same time, we'll be revisiting the Warclaws Warclaws World skills to provide a refreshed experience that builds on what we've learned about the mounts since first implementing the Warclaw. Yeah, I think that seems fun. We're not really sure what it's going to be. We do have some information, actually, about this specifically. Here we go. Apparently, yeah, we have this. New and improved Warclaw. Bursting from the Warclaws World game mode, the Warclaw will join player mount stables as a new option for exploring the mountain of river valleys of Janther using the unique double jump ability to navigate through tough terrain. And I'm guessing it's going to be... You know, how you... I mean, we already have kind of like a double jump on the Warclaw, right? You can jump twice, you know, be the stamina. But I'm guessing what's going to be instead is we're going to be like, you know, we're just going to go full face here. It's going to be like this, right? Like usually we do like boom, boom, and then boom. It's going to be probably more like boom, boom, like more vertical, right? Like more like diagonal. So like, you know, it's probably going to be a raptor that just goes like this, right? Instead of just like very horizontal. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But, you know, there we go. Also, one thing that I forgot to talk about the raids, I should have said that before, we actually have a confirmation that we're not planning to add new strike missions in addition to the raid with Enchanted Worlds. So, I don't think this really means that we're never gonna get strikes again. I think this just means that they're trying out raids again and they want to see like, hey, you know, how can we do this and can we actually bring them back? And honestly, if this goes well, I could definitely see a world where we get one raid a year and 2 strikes as well, because they do kind of do different things, and strikes are so kind of easily developed that I don't see any reason not to do them. Like if they're gonna put more story instances with more bosses, might as well get them into a strike. And I think, and yeah, sure, they found a way to make the raids also not be wasted because they're gonna be a part of the open world meta on open world bosses or open world events. But I really do hope that we get both. They do different things, and I think it's good to have a bit of variety. And also, it will be 5 bosses a year, which will be pretty cool, I think. There you go. Next one, of course, we have developing a new PvP mode. And this one, I could not believe it. I did not ever guess that this... I kind of hit on everything that I said. I thought that we're going to get a player housing and a new raid. But Jesus Christ, this I did not see coming. We got one final thing to share for now. Over the course of the coming year, we'll also be seeking input from the community on a new PvP game mode we aim to implement. We have prototype of a map and mechanics that will be ready to start beta testing later this year, and we'll iterate and refine that, taking into account your feedback on the beta tests. Very interesting. PvP right now, even though it's a good game mode, and I think PvP is very good, it's not very popular. I know that many people play it, and in my opinion, it's probably because even though it's very competitive and very fair, it's not that it's not fun, but you don't get that like, oh my god, I'm so powerful kind of thing on PvP. You almost feel like less powerful because you have less boons, because you're playing kind of alone, right? You're in PvE, you're way more overpowered. I think that doesn't feel good, and I think bringing maybe, and hopefully this PvP mode will be something that is very casual and kind of like, oh, everyone just goes in and just has fun, and then if you really want to compete, you go to ranked, you go to conquest. We'll really see how it is, but we have some information about it, a little bit at least. We saw, you know, someone, I don't know which Discord this is, but, you know, they asked Roy, one of the, you know, developers in Guild Wars 2, and honestly, a big Warclaws World as well. GVG game mode hype, and they're like, you know, oh my god, is this GVG? Is this Guild versus Guild? And Roy says, unfortunately, no. It'll be fun though, but not GVG. So very, very interesting, right? So, you know, hey, apparently it's gonna be fun. which I think is very, very cool. So, you know, I mean, of course, those gonna say that that is fun, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty likely that it's gonna be good. You also have in this little thing here, and I will leave all the resources that I used to make this video in the description down below, so you can actually check it. They also talk about in this like press release, I guess, about everything that this expansion has, about PP. Let me just where is the PP? There you go. They talk about a new PP game mode will arrive in the following months and into 2025. So some people were saying, oh, this PP game mode is never going to come out. But I think the fact that they announced it makes it very possible that they do. Of course, I think they want to see like, oh, will people really like it or not before they actually commit, and you know, make some changes with the feedback as well. And this is why they kind of like slowly are getting the information in. But the fact that they said a new PP game mode will arrive in the following months and into 2025, and that's in the part of the release, you know, on the announced press release, I think it's very, very good, very, very important. So very good, and that's about it. A few closing notes, I think. First, I think that the PvP game mode, honestly, it could be anything. In my opinion, it could be. It would have to be two things. It would have to be something that plays in the same way that ranked plays, with the same maps, right? Like, you know, hey, capture the flag instead of defend. Right? Something like this that also can be applied in the old maps. And this way you can, you know, you play ranked and you can get one of the two modes. And this gives a bit more variety into the game. It could also be some like augmentation of the rank system of the conquest. Maybe you get some more powers, maybe you get some items, something that makes you more powerful. And also, considering the fact that WoW just did this, it could be a battle royale. It could be like Thunderstorm, that was very, very successful. It could be a huge map where people, you know, go in there with Guild Wars 2 abilities, Guild Wars 2 traits, and maybe you start collecting them. You collect the traits to become more powerful. Maybe you get other traits that were insanely overpowered, so you can make your build while you're playing it, which would be very, very cool. And I know a lot of people don't like battle royales, but I think they're very good, and I think they actually go pretty well. They would go pretty well with the Guild Wars 2 system, as it's so, what's the word? Not developed. It's so complex. I think maybe you should go with the A. You know, you don't start with all your abilities in your build, but you start with no traits at all, maybe no utilities at all, just the weapon, or maybe not even a weapon. And then you just go around, you pick a weapon, you're like, oh, I got this weapon for this class, awesome. Oh, I got this utility, I'm gonna use this. Oh, I'm gonna change it for this one, and you can just drop it and whatever. I think there could be a lot of cool things there, and it makes it so much more easier for people to learn as well. As Guild Wars 2 has so many things that happen at the same time, and so many things to think about. Hey, giving you a little bit of time to like, oh, I'm gonna pick this one, and I'm gonna learn, oh, I can pick this one. Like, that'll be so cool, and that's such a good way of learning the game. It'd be super exciting, and I really hope it works. Well, also, they should put a lot of overpowered things as well, but I really hope they make it work. We'll see, though. I was gonna say something else. What was it? Was it gonna be a raid about raids? I don't know. I'm excited for the expansion, guys. I am. Oh, yeah, the raids, yeah. About Fractal. I think the new Fractal was pretty... people are not really liking them. And if they want raids to, you know, work and them to actually be played and they actually to be successful, they need to figure out how to actually make encounters then not only difficult, but they're actually also fun. They don't take forever. And they're not bugged on release insanely hard so nobody can complete them. Okay? Like, I get it, it's hard, but if you want to commit to this, if you want to commit to the game, you have to fix this. And I'm not gonna say, oh, they don't quality test it. They probably do, and probably the QAs probably tell them, but they just don't have enough time to fix it. And, you know, look, you have to do it, because, like, otherwise this is just a bit of a joke. I know Legendary Cerasium was pretty good, and it actually doesn't have that many bugs, which is pretty cool, but, like, you have to apply this to the other thing as well. So, like, you can't, right? You just can't. No one's gonna take this seriously and the instance content seriously if you release it with this quality. It's not acceptable. I'm sorry, it's just not. If you want people to be excited about the raids, and I've seen a lot of people being like, who cares? The Near Fractal is horrible. They're probably gonna do the same thing with raids. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want people to think that, if you want them to believe in you, you have to make this. But you have to at least fix it. The meta still is kind of a disaster as well, the new meta. So I want to believe, and in some ways I do, but I have to put some things in there as well, some effort in there. Okay, and I get a UR, but it has to show, because intentions are nice, but have to do it. You have to actually make it work. That being said, tell me if I missed anything. I will definitely be updating everything. You know, every time we get more information about the expansion, I will be releasing a new video. Anything that happens, anything, just comment down below and we'll get it in. And yeah, there you go. Subscribe to the channel for more content. For my Ko-Fi, if you want to support me, go to my Twitch to watch me live. Go to my Discord to, of course, hang out off stream. And if you're gonna pre-order, use the links down below to have my Aaron Snap, because I don't have a referral link, but he does, and he needs help, and he has always helped me a lot, and he's giving me gold to do giveaways on stream, so he deserves it. Okay, just buy it with his referral link. There's no reason not to. Okay, thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys on all of you all. Bye bye.